our city, Portland. This is a story about how people came and settled in our city and how they built a great city.
It is a story about good times and bad times. It is a story about how people, like you and me, can help other people make life better for everyone in our city.
For thousands of years, Native peoples roamed the area we now call Portland. They belonged to a tribe called the Multnomas.
The Multnomas had many settlements in our area. The largest settlement was on Suvi's Island, which was called Wapato Island from the Wapato root that grew on the island. The tribes used the Wapato plant much like we use potatoes today.
There was also a lookout on Council Crest, very near to where the Haley Heights Tower is today.
And there was a clearing next to a beautiful river they called Willamette, which in their language meant River of Peace. That little clearing was the start of Portland. In the year 1804, two explorers named Lewis and Clark began a journey from St. Louis, Missouri to reach the Pacific Ocean.
They took along 30 other men, an Indian woman named Sacagawea, and her little baby. They also took along Clark's slave York and Lewis's great big dog. In 1805, they crossed the Rocky Mountains and traveled down the Columbia River to the ocean.
They had a very difficult trip. They almost starved to death, but they made it to the Pacific Ocean in November of 1805. Then they returned to Missouri in September of 1806.
On April 3, 1806, Captain Clark and 7 other men took a journey down the Willamette River. He was the first American to see the area we now call Portland.
Oh yeah, like these guys would have traveled all that way. Come on.
Well, according to history, they did.
No way, they traveled over 4,000 miles by walking or by canoe. Nobody could do that. Get real.
It was real, and I bet I can prove it.
How?
We'll read you something from their journals.
They had to write journals too?
Yes, the President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, ordered Lewis and Clark to write every day in their journals.
Here's what we wrote when we were close to Portland. November 10th, 1805. Rained very hard last night and continued this morning. We're all wet, our bedding and many other articles. November 12th, 1805. Oh, wet and cold, but fortunately the men are healthy. November 14th, 1805. Rained very hard last night and continued this morning. We're all wet.
Okay, I get the picture. I guess they were in Portland.
Lewis and Clark told everybody in the East about Oregon. Soon others came and found that the farmland in the Willamette Valley was some of the best land on earth. And they told other people.
The first explorers were fur trappers. Let me introduce you to one of the most famous early settler, Dr. John McLaughlin.
Dr. McLaughlin was a very tall man.
Hello, I'm John McLaughlin. I am the head of Hudson Bay Company for this region. At first I lived at Fort Vancouver, but then I moved to Oregon City. Fur traders come to me with lots of different furs, and I buy them and send them to England where they're highly prized.
Dr. McLaughlin, here's the milk cards.
Very good. We can make a lot of things from milk.
And here's some raccoon pelts.
Fine, but raccoon isn't such an interesting animal. We can still make good hats out of them. What do you have, Richard?
Dr. McLaughlin, I washed the skunk fur and I don't think it smells too bad.
Yes, it does. I don't think we can use that. What else do you have?
Beaver pelts, 3 of them.
Excellent. Beaver is a very valuable animal. But you know it's sad because beaver is such an interesting animal.
Especially in the way they build dams. Beavers are always cutting down trees. And luckily in the Northwest we have a lot of trees, which means we have a lot of beavers.
But the trappers also brought with them something else, disease. By 1830, almost the entire Multnomah tribe and many other tribes in Oregon had died of the flu or other diseases that white men had carried.
The native tribes in Oregon had no immunity to these diseases.
By 1843, thousands of settlers were traveling to Oregon on what became known as the Oregon Trail. They traveled with oxen, horses, and everything they owned in the covered wagons.
Life on the trail was hard. There were many dangers. Many people died of diseases, but they journeyed in hopes of finding good land in Oregon.
Women on the trail had to cook, clean, and sew all the clothes for the family. Sometimes unexpected things happened.
One woman wrote in her journal,
"Last night my cows got out of the wagon and the oxen ate them up."
And then, like any journey, the kids always ask questions.
Hey,
get its name. Let me introduce you to Mr. Lovejoy and Mr. Overton.
You remember that clearing by the Willamette River? Well, Mr. Lovejoy and Mr. Overton claimed it belonged to them. It probably wasn't fair, but the government in Oregon City sold them the land for only 25 cents.
Well, Mr. Overton, 25 cents, I think we did quite well.
Yes, Mr. Lovejoy, we did. Perhaps someday people will build a few houses here. Maybe a small town. Why, someday, maybe even a great city will be here.
Whoa, Mr. Overton, don't get ahead of yourself. This place doesn't even have a name yet. Why, it's just called the Clearing.
Yes, but we could build a dock for ships and then the town will grow.
And Mr. Overton was right. A few houses were built on the spot. But soon, Mr. Overton wanted to leave to go to California. So he sold half of the town to Mr. Pettygrove.
But he didn't tell Mr. Pennygrove that he had only paid pennies for it originally.
That's right, Pettygrove, only $50 for all this land. You'll never regret it. Best land in the world. I mean, why buy a town anywhere else? And just for you, I'll throw in all these beautiful trees for free. And you know, free is a very good price.
Well, Mr. Overton, $50 seems like a lot of money for a town that doesn't even have a name. I don't know.
Yes, but this hard-to-find location will save you some money. At that price, I'm really saving you some money. And hey, if you don't buy from me today, I can't save you any money.
Okay, Mr. Overton, $50 it is, but I won't pay a penny more.
So now the town was owned by Mr. Lovejoy and Mr. Pettygrove. But there was still one big problem. It didn't have a name.
How about naming it after another town like the Pilgrims did? They named their towns after towns in England.
That is a good idea. Let's see what we could name it.
How about Boston, like my hometown in Massachusetts? It's a great city, and we want this to be a great city as well.
Mr. Lovejoy, I'm from Maine. And you know, we don't think very much of Boston and Maine. I suggest we name it Portland, after a very fair city in Maine.
I say it should be called Boston. It's a more important city than your itty-bitty little Portland.
See here, Mr. Lovejoy, Portland, Maine is a much more beautiful city than your ugly, stinking Boston.
Boston, that's final.
It should be called Portland, and that's final.
Boston.
Portland.
Boston.
Portland.
Boston.
Okay, break it up. You stand over there and you stand over here.
Hey, I have an idea. Let's settle this by flipping a coin. You call it.
Heads. Tails.
Well, tails it is.
How about 2 out of 3?
Okay, that's 2 out of 3. Call it again.
Heads. Tails again.
How about flipping it 3 out of 5?
No, Mr. Lovejoy, she's Portland, fair and square.
And so the town was named Portland.
By 1850, more and more houses were built. A newspaper was started.
The dock was built and Portland became a major port. Many trees were cut down and the clearing was expanded.
But soon, Portland had another name, Stumptown. You see, when the men cut down the trees, they often left the stumps behind.
Good morning to the Camp Abigail. Isn't this a lovely day? Harriet, let me help you up.
Are you alright? I'm so tired of these stumps everywhere in the road. I wish the men would pull them out.
That's right. Those men are so lazy. All they do is drink beer. They don't even care if someone walks downtown without bumping into these awful stumps.
And did you hear what the other towns are saying about us? We're the laughing stock of the West.
They call us Stumptown.
The summer of 1873 was very hot, very hot. It was 4 a.m. on the morning. It was also very dry. It was 4 a.m. on the morning of August 2nd, 1873. Suddenly, a man came running out of a warehouse.
Help, help, the warehouse is on fire. Get the fire brigade, help, help.
The fire spread quickly. All the buildings and houses were made of wood, and they were very close together. The firemen tried to put out the fire, but they couldn't. When the fire